Hey, Soul Survivors, I'm Cynthia Schiller. We're going to talk about why God hasn't healed us yet and what is it that God can't heal. This is a viewer topic request. I usually don't dive into religion too much. I know I have a vast audience, but this can be helpful regardless of what religion you are, and I'm not going to get biblical. Just as a statement, I am a Christian, but there are times that we get mad at our God. Why do we do that? What is it? The viewer had said that, God's helped me in the past. Why isn't he helping me now? So one thing we have to learn, I did a video on why hasn't God healed me yet, and being angry at our God. And I gave quite a bit of what I feel was good advice. So were we open to that advice? Did we take heed in that advice? So that's up to you guys if you watched it and what you took from that and what you implemented. So are we implementing good advice? You can weed through whatever you think is good. Did you implement that? Did you take it to heart? Did you understand it? A lot of times when we or even our narcissist is in a triggered state, it's hard to fully absorb the words that we hear. We also have brain fog, so maybe we're perceiving it in a different way, or we're not comprehending it, and that's okay, but that can happen in our brains. So what is it that God can't heal? Why do bad things happen to good people? A lot of it is learning lessons. So one thing I want to say is, as far as she had said that God used to help me in the past, why isn't he helping me now? You have a lack of trust in him. You have a lack of trust in him. So you are going to miss the signs of maybe an angel friend coming into your life, somebody who is going to help you through the hard times, that because of the lack of trust, you're not going to see fully, like, this person's reaching out to me. This person wants to spend time with me. When you spend time with people, you get different chemical things going on in your brain, that you get like a dopamine hit. You feel cared about, loved for. And it's odd how the brain works, where we tend to look at negative instead of positive. I also want to do some stuff on manifestation, because it sounds crazy, but it does work. Changing our mindset uh, makes a huge difference. So can we change our mindset that God's really come through for me? I don't see why he won't come through for me again. It's not on my time, it's on his time. A lot of times when we try to push the agenda, that's where things go wrong. Whether it was with your narcissist, why isn't he called? Why isn't he called? Why isn't he called, or her? And you start getting anxious as opposed to trust the process. We have to trust the process. Now, narcissists are a different story. They do lie, they do alter reality. But when we try to communicate with a narcissist, is in a triggered state. When somebody is in a triggered state, they don't comprehend what people are saying, whether it's somebody with ADHD or somebody with depression or anxiety or lack of trust or whatever is going on. The thought processes are different, and we have to fight off the negative feelings. So if we have seen that God has come through for us, if we realize that we're special, that God wants to have a relationship with us, and you know uh, he wants to help people that respect him, that follow the rules, that adore him and understand him. And it is a two-way relationship. Are we doing things the right way? Are there certain things that we faltered in? And we do have free choice. So some of the decisions we've made may have been things that were not the best plan for us. So he does allow us to make our choices. So, do we choose, some things get difficult, you know, um, and it gets tricky, that, maybe we didn't make the right choices. And, certain things might be part of God's plan to help the masses as opposed to the one person. And this is just me thinking. I question certain things. Like I had my father, and I'm going to say something pretty profound in just a minute, but my father was very religious and he went through a lot of trials and tribulation with his health, but he remained positive, remained faithful to God. And in the end, he was so peaceful. He knew he was dying. He knew it was time. And, why did all these bad things happen? You know, um, but he had, 4 beautiful children that just adore him. I was just talking to my cousin and, she was saying, what a strength my father was. So it can develop your character and it can help others. Like in religious entity things is we're supposed to help each other. So sometimes the way we help each other is through overcoming things. We can teach people how to overcome things or how to accept things or how to keep the faith. So when you say, why is God not helping me? Are you trusting him? And when you pair that with the manifestation, it's odd how that works, but it changes your vibration, the way you speak, the energy that you emit. So if you go into, let's say, a job interview and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get this job, and you're like, yeah, well, I'm, and you don't believe in your own self, but you expect other people to believe in you. So when you shift your mind, like I got this job, and you're like, yeah, this is what's up. And you tell your story and they're like, wow, she knows what she's talking about. Um, it's all this like energy shift. If you're around negative people, you're going to absorb that. That's why a lot of times if you're with a narcissist, you absorb toxic behaviors or outcomes, depression, anxiety. When we were with our narcissists, we started getting anxious. We started pushing them as opposed to maybe they need time. And I'm not saying it's your fault. Narcissists can give you silent treatments for months and years sometimes. And if it's so unhealthy. That's why it's a toxic relationship. But when you're relying on God to heal you, it's just like right now, if I had an infection or a broken bone, I'm relying on the doctors to heal me. What is wrong? These people went to school for how many years and I am not healed. Have I come to them? Have I followed their advice? So do we go to our religious building? Do we listen to the message that is presented? Do we believe in the message that's presented? Just like doctors, if you're a man and they tell you you're pregnant, you're like, this doesn't make sense. So you find a different doctor. Are we finding the right church or synagogue or mosque or whatever you guys go to? That we have to control some of this healing. We are adults now. And, when we go through a trauma, it brings us into a childlike state. It just does. And, we want this magical thing to just happen. But part of what we're going through is a lesson, whether it's to watch out for red flags or to understand how to set boundaries. And a lot of what's going on now is, if we set the right kind of boundaries in a caring way, not in a vengeful way, but if we set them in a caring way, we can kind of redirect society. If we all did it, if we taught the right values, are you going through struggles, so you're mad at God and you're drinking, or you're doing whatever. I want to do more videos to help you guys get the right kind of dopamine and to get our minds rewired, because it is an extremely painful process. We feel either abandoned or betrayed. And a lot of us, that's something foreign to us. Our parents have stuck by us. Even if they divorced, they stuck by us. But, you know, some of us have had narcissistic parents, and we wonder why all this stuff has happened. But a lot of times it makes us stronger. And it can, if we understand it, maybe we can avoid those kind of relationships. So is God trying to heal us? We might not like the way he is trying to heal us. Just like right now, if I had a broken bone that healed, it's healed. Sometimes we think we're healed, but it's not healed the right way. So a doctor would re-break it, which is painful, reset it, and then you got to go through the healing process. So some of us don't want to be broken again. We want to accept the way it healed. But if you are watching my video right now, the healing that you've gone through is probably the wrong kind of healing. It's not the best kind of healing. It's maybe acceptance with anger. That's not the right kind of healing. You have to let go of the anger. So God has shown you, trust in me, and I will heal you. At this time, if you are like my viewer, you don't have the trust. You don't have the trust. And you're expecting a miracle. But this is the thing, is it's part of a lesson. And it's just like, as a teacher, I'm not going to fill out the test for the kids and they get an A+. I could fill in all the right answers. Did they learn? You have to go through the learning process. So you have to trust. And that can be hard at times because we're hurting. And we're scared because our person abandoned us or betrayed us. And we're putting that on God. That's projection. You know, did we choose the right person? Did we see the right flags? Did we set our boundaries? Did we give into, you know, maybe having sex too early, or not having the person vet themselves in us? Were they invest in us? Were they vetted? So is God trying to help you? He probably is. But are you going to church? Are you fellowshipping with people? Sometimes when we're hurt, we don't want to reach out to people. We can go to church or synagogue, mosque, and we can be like, nobody reached out to me. I was there. I've gone the last 4 months and not one person has reached out to me. How many people did you reach out to? Because chances are there's somebody just like you at that place of worship, wanting somebody to reach out. And you miss that opportunity. Fellowship is important for that dopamine, that love, that companion, that community, and somebody on the same page. So if you're looking at joining like the core popular, however you want to put it, core group of the church place of worship, maybe the outside person is kind of where you're at. And then you kind of bring each other closer and become enmeshed with the church. Are you volunteering? Are you at least showing up? And are you in the present moment? And I've struggled with this too. I go to church. There's times that I've been angry or it hits too hard. And I have a hard time going to church. But are we living in the moment of when we're at church? Are we listening to the message? Or are we, yeah, that sounds great. If only you would have done that for me. He is trying to do that, but he's leading you down a certain path. So why hasn't God healed you yet? Because you're not allowing him. You're not going to him. Are you praying the right things to him? You know, right now, if I was starving, I could pray for, chocolate. Why can't I have, 8 pounds of chocolate that gives me my daily intake of calories? That's not going to help me. That's not going to keep me healthy. That's going to lead to my demise. Are we praying for the right thing? Bring him back to me. Bring her back to me. Bring the devil back to you. God's going to be like, what are you talking about? And when I say devil, it's something that I haven't come to grips with. Is it demonic or is it destructive? Either way, it's either demonic or destructive. It's toxic. Please bring toxicity back into my life. Sometimes the time apart, there are people that do heal. So maybe this is a filtration time, that if your person was toxic, they have to go through learning lessons and grow and heal. Maybe you will find a way. But right now, if you guys got back together, it's toxic, it's unhealed, it's trauma-based, and that's when it falls apart. So, I'm Christian, so I kind of talk that way, but a lot of times it will relate to whatever religion you have. If you have a kind type of religion, that your God is there for you, but you're not trusting him, and he's trying to say, trust me, trust the process. So instead of trusting the process, you're getting angry, so you're filled with anger. And if I was to come up to you today, hey, how you doing? Do you want to go grab something to eat? And you're filled with anger, you're not going to be as open to me. You might be mad at God, not at me. But that anger is resonating and changing you. So give God some grace. He's given us a lot of grace. And I hope you see that other video. As far as a profound statement, that my mom grew up in an atheist household. And I asked her, I'm like, what do you believe? And she's like, I don't know. She didn't take the time to understood what she knew. Now, my father was extremely religious, like beyond religious. And he, such a kind-hearted man, so smart, wanted to know everything so he could kind of show people this is the way. But some people don't want to hear it. Some people, it's on a different level than they need. So he kind of seemed pushy, but he was excited. He was excited about his God. So it pushed my mom away from religion. It wasn't on her level. And we have to be cautious. As a teacher, you have to teach at the level. I could teach my kindergartners at this like extreme level where I use these words that don't make sense to them. You do have to kind of up it to kind of help them, but you have to kind of come to the right level. So it was amazing. She's on Mother's Day, she didn't feel very good. We were all there, and she's basically atheist or uncertain, whatever you want to call it. And my sister had brought a really good man friend, not a boyfriend, I don't believe, but a really good man friend to our house. And my mom was not feeling good. She kept getting dizzy, and he had gone over to her and said a prayer over her. And he had mentioned to her how many times he has seen healing. And he said, everywhere Jesus went, and this can relate to your religion, however, but as he said, everywhere Jesus went, there was healing. And he mentioned this one time where it was a wife who couldn't hear, and the son had a hard time, or she couldn't speak. She couldn't really speak. And the son couldn't really hear. And he's praying over the wife. And all of a sudden, out in the distance, you hear screaming. And the man said, I can see now. I can see. And it turned out that this man was this woman's husband. So as they're interconnected, God's healing her, helping express things, and he's healing. And there was many different experiences that he had. He's not a shady person. I do believe he experienced what he experienced. And there's a lot of unknowns out there. I'm going to try to do more research on you, for you. But my mom, you saw a change in her. She felt a comfort. She felt maybe this is the way. Maybe there's something to this, but I have to trust. She's still on her journey. I don't know where she'll end up, but she felt more peaceful, knowing maybe there is a God out there. So she could have had a takeaway where this is bullshit. He's fucking full of crap, like she used to do. Okay, pray, 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 whatever. She used to use it to her advantage. Would Jesus like that? Would Jesus like a messy room? It's like if my dad said it, it hit home. But when she would say it, it's like empty. Our God is not empty. So decide how much you trust my perception on things, add your perception, and take the advice that resonates with you. So anything I said in the previous video or anything I said in this video doesn't make sense, that it is a lesson that we're trying to learn. And it can be difficult to learn. Are we in the triggered state to where anything I say is going to be bullshit to you, which that's part of the triggered state? Or are you agreeing and disagreeing with what you need to, with the words that I say? Because if you believe in a God as I believe a God should be, it's the ultimate love. So you trusted him before, and he didn't fail you. He didn't fail you. Somebody else did. And somebody else's failure, you're not putting it on your bullshit boyfriend. You're putting the failure on God. Your God wants to love you. So I hope that was helpful. And let me know how you guys feel about religious stuff. I try to keep it to where it resonates with everybody. But I'm here to help you guys in how you need to heal. So please like and subscribe, share if this helps somebody, and share something about your God. My God's amazing, and I get mad at him. That's not fair to him. He's provided me with so much, and things, I don't understand. There's some things I don't understand. Doesn't mean it was to hurt me. It might have meant I got hurt along the way. I played a part in some of the things that I've gone through. And we have to recognize that maybe we're turning away somebody who is trying to love us the right way. Our minds work really oddly, that sometimes the quality people are the ones we don't see the quality in. We'll talk more on that. Comment below if you'd like to hear more about that, because that is the truth. A lot of times we seek what we can't have. We put value on people that are out of our reach, or, right now would you go to a Taylor Swift concert, whoever's concert, for $500 or $100? Let's just say $100. You're going to go to this concert for $100, but if I ask you for $5, are you going to give it to me? You know, I'm the one in, like, if we were friends, I'm the one in your life. I ask for $5, you won't give it to me, but you'll spend, what do people spend on that concert? Oh my goodness. Maybe I need to learn how to sing. Please like and subscribe. I hope that was helpful. And let me know if you would like maybe a Sunday night prayer. Maybe I can do videos on that because I want you guys to heal. And love you guys.